please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Let me come to the more important issue in which you have contributed a lot in terms of policy thinking, the Insolvency Code. Now we have seen two big benefits, one 35,200 crore coming from Bhushan Steel, and now a few days back 5,300 crore coming from Vedanta on Electrosteel. So while that process is on, the other problem is the Reserve Bank having to recognize what is already stressed, and there come the power assets. We have heard a lot of Power Ministry, Finance Ministry talking about this. Do you think a time has come for a stressed fund to be set up by the government? What is the government thinking on this?
So let's go back a year back. What was the problem? We had a huge amount of bad loans.
Policy thinking, the Insolvency Code. Now we have seen two big benefits, one 35,200 crore coming from Bhushan Steel, and now a few days back 5,300 crore coming from Vedanta on Electrosteel. So while that process is on, the other problem is the Reserve Bank having to recognize what is already stressed, and there come the power assets. We have heard a lot of Power Ministry, Finance Ministry talking about this. Do you think a time has come for a stressed fund to be set up by the government? What is the government thinking on this?
So let's go back a year back. What was the problem? We had a huge amount of bad loans, in fact, little more than a year back, maybe last February, March.
Yes.
We had a huge pile of bad loans. We didn't know what exactly was there in the books, and they were not getting recognized. So what we did was we opened the books up, and we began to get people to force to begin to recognize. In the process of that, of course, many scams also came out of the skeletons came falling out of the closet. So now what has happened, we have a fairly good idea of what is the landscape of these NPAs and where they reside, and to a large extent they have now been written off also.
Yes.
So that is step one done. It is also done two things. One, we avoided creating a bad bank, as you know, which would perhaps have become another warehouse like BIFR. Instead, we began to use a brand new mechanism called the IBC. Now, when we began using the IBC, did we know exactly where it would go? No, we didn't. We identified 50 odd top companies, we put it into it, and at every stage we have adjusted along the way in as practical a way as possible to keep this process going. And now you just mentioned we're coming to the end of that first lot is coming to the end of the cycle, and we are beginning to sell it. We're getting auction them or whatever, and we're getting money back. Even those who have not gone into the formal IBC process, as you know, 88,000 crores odd has come back, got resolved. So we are now in the process, we're on the other side of the cycle, and we are now getting the benefits from it.
Absolutely.
Now, there are, however, sectors where, whether because of judiciary or because of commercial reasons, we may have to make slightly different arrangements. That would obviously, in the case of, for example, real estate sector, where large numbers of home buyers may be stuck. One example. Yeah. Power sector, now we have the Honorable High Court has given us a certain judgment. We will now examine it and we will respond. We do not claim to know everything for all time. We are adjusting along the way. The point is that we have a broad framework now, which is the IBC.
Yes.
And that framework will be tweaked where necessary. We will create special arrangements where necessary. The point is to be practical and keep moving the thing forward. That is all. In the end, it's about being clear about the framework and about the fact that we will adjust along the way where necessary and quickly and keep moving forward.
Okay, no, actually this is, I guess, music to the ears of those who are plodding on with the legal work in IBC. One of the worries is that although the IBC has worked, the NCLTs have worked beautifully, it is the workload is 4,000 cases actually registered, but only 2,000 have been heard. So, or are various stages of hearing. One of the demands of, or the pleas of the legal community is, can we have more NCLTs? Are you seeing that as?
So sure, I mean, capacity is an issue, and you know, we need to build that. And by the way, we can't just simply load it on. We need the right quality of judges, people who understand these things. We need more people in the insolvency professional. And again, we need to be careful who is let in and let out, otherwise you'll have all kinds of unscrupulous people also coming in. So it is somewhere we have to run it at a certain pace. Nevertheless, we recognize that, you know, everything cannot be solved through this process, so other processes have to be created. And by the way, you know, the Reserve Bank's February 12 notification also will add to this process.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, once the process has more or less been created, I mean, through this recent experience, we have now created precedents, processes, and so on. More processes will have to be created, new rules will have to be tweaked. But as we do it, we understand that this is an area where attention needs to be paid, and resolution is happening at multiple levels, and not everything has to come to NCLT. And you know, we have demonstrated it through this route, but in fact, to a large extent, particularly smaller cases, we may need to allow for different kinds of resolution. MSMEs can, you know, you cannot carry out the same kind of level of scrutiny and auctioning, etc., for say a small company that produces pipes with 20 people in somebody's backyard. Cannot have the same level and processes, etc., and than say Bhushan Steel. So again, some adjustment may have to be made, and in fact, as you may be aware, there is an ordinance